Hi everyone, Chris aka Chilling from Grandpa Sims here. It's been a few days since Operation Cerberus North was released for DCS World. I'm really proud of the finished product, and of course I've been monitoring the forums, Discord, YouTube, social media, etc. for feedback and questions. So based on the questions, the queries, the comments that I've seen, I thought it would be a good idea to put this deep dive together to try and explain a bit more about the campaign and give you an idea of what you're going to experience during Operation Cerberus North. So first of all, Operation Cerberus North is a sequel to my A10 campaign Operation Persian Freedom. The main character, Steep, our RAF exchange pilot, has changed assignment from the Air Force to the Marines. Now you won't need to have played Persian Freedom to play through Cerberus North. There is plenty of space given in Cerberus North to allow the story to develop and to fill in any blanks. That said, if you have played Persian Freedom, there might be the odd reference that you get, but definitely nothing life-changing. So the plot of Cerberus North follows on from Persian Freedom, where the ripples of the US-led invasion of Iran are still being felt around the region. Again, this is all explained throughout Cerberus North, so no prior knowledge is necessary. And that brings me on to the campaign documentation. There is a large amount of detailed documentation with this campaign. A 98-page intelligence briefing, 26 pages of spins, special instructions, and detailed briefings and kneeboards for every mission. This adds up to hundreds of pages throughout the campaign. Now, do I really have to read through all of that? Some of you will probably ask. Well, no you don't, but clearly you'll do better and you'll be more clued in if you do. But tasks in game are always signposted, so you can feel your way through if you're a more casual player. What I would recommend that you read is the player guide that's included in the campaign documentation. If you're not reading this and you're running into bugs or problems, then you might have to take a bit of responsibility on that yourself. So on to one of my favourite things in campaign creation, and this is world building and attention to detail. Both Persian Freedom and Cerberus North are packed full of detail, more so than anyone will ever likely notice, to be honest, but it's really important to me as I'm building the campaign that it feels alive, that the world feels like a real place. The map is packed full of details, such as the correct aircraft on the ramp at specific air bases, even if that airbase is 200 miles away from the mission area. In Mission 1, you can just go rogue if you want and fly straight to Damascus. You'll find a city full of AAA and a large missile engagement zone waiting for you. It's really important to me that the world in Cerberus North feels like it's going on around you, regardless of whether you're there or not. As in Persian Freedom, you'll also have many optional conversations to choose from. Now, cards on the table, these are totally unrealistic. These conversations just wouldn't be had in the cockpit during combat operations. But at the end of the day, this isn't real life, and you don't have the option of having these conversations in a briefing or ready room, so this is the next best thing. These conversations help flesh out the characters and the world, but they are completely optional, so they can be ignored if you wish. The campaign features a number of custom-built systems. The JTAC system from Persian Freedom returns, in a slightly modified way. For Cerberus North, I've also built a custom jamming system that comes into play later in the campaign. This is based around the support of the Navy's EA-18 Growlers. And the system takes a number of factors into account to influence the behaviour of the considerable Syrian air defence system you'll be facing. The campaign also has a custom air traffic control system with procedures for departures, arrival, taxi, takeoff, landing, startup. These all tie into the mission score. Now, the philosophy behind this is to always be engaging the player with meaningful activities, hopefully adding an extra layer of immersion and challenge and giving you more stuff to do as you're flying around. Now, is the campaign a realistic recreation of combat operations? No, not strictly. It's based on my interpretation of open source material, with some concession given to the fact that this is, in part, an entertainment product. Personally, I consider DCS to be a sim, not a game, getting into that old argument, but a campaign should be almost a standalone game within the sim, so it needs to provide a learning curve and offer some concessions for the lesser experienced player. All that said, I try and make it feel as realistic as possible and capture the spirit of being a fighter pilot, if not all the minute details, and trying to keep it interesting and engaging throughout, and maybe cutting out the more boring elements, but again, that's personal preference as to what you like. But what is more important to me is immersion. To me, this is about how the mission reacts to you and makes you feel involved. You get to make decisions, give answers to questions, including in tour cons during CAS.
I'll talk you on. Locate the main intersection in Beirut. You'll see some APCs parked alongside cold contact. Copy. Confirm how many APCs you see parked there.
You can choose not to answer a question, and your flight lead might tell you off for ignoring him, or get more impatient the longer he waits.
Devil 1-1, radio check. Devil 1-2, you up? Devil 1-2, you up? Forget how to use a radio, Devil 1-2?
You can even talk back to him, but if you don't perform later on, you'll be reminded of this.
You know, I do know what I'm doing, sir.
Good for you, Devil 1-2. Now stay focused and make sure you don't crash into me. Maybe next time you'll keep your ego in check when I give advice.
In the campaign's 3,000 plus lines of dialogue, there are many contextual versions of the audio. Your actions and decisions can influence what happens later on in the mission. Best example I can give of this? So imagine you're asked to bomb a target. Now what are the potential outcomes? You could kill the target first time with one bomb. You might miss first time and need a second bomb. You might get damaged or hit bingo and need to abort. You might fail miserably and your wingman needs to step in and take over. You might screw up so bad you get sent home. All these outcomes and more are taken into account during the campaign. And take the example of having your wingman step in to help. This may prevent him later on from helping you in the mission, or if he's busy dropping weapons, he's no longer watching your back, making you more vulnerable to enemy fighters or manpads. This immersive mission design reaches a peak in a few certain missions. I won't reveal too much, but the campaign introduces ideas and concepts like the jamming system, eventually allowing you to plan your own strike in a sandbox style mission that still features many scripted moments and reacts to your approach. I'm particularly proud of one late game mission in particular. It took me at least a month to build and it's probably the best mission I've ever built. Missions are typically 1.5 hours long, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a little less. I've tried to build the campaign so missions have multiple outcomes. If you're struggling, there's always an abort option so you can live to fight another day. Conversely, getting a score of 100 can be a real challenge, often requiring the completion of additional tasks or flawless performances. I'm confident there's a significant amount of replayability in the campaign and hopefully really good value for money. Now, this being a DCS campaign, people might ask, I don't like the single player content, the AI will break on me, it makes it too difficult, I fly on my own, it's full of bugs. You know, valid criticism with some of the AI issues in DCS, but really building on what Baltic Dragon started with Raven 1 a couple of years ago, and you removing the AI wingman from your flight and putting him as a separate entity that you can then control through the F10 menu, it works far, far better, and I'm pretty confident that the amount of AI issues you'll run into in the campaign will be pretty small. I think I've figured out how to get the most out of the AI, and if you want an example of that, I'll link a description to the air-to-air tactics video that I published a while ago, and just show that if you know how to do it, you can actually get the AI to play ball with you and script them to do some far more complicated things than you would imagine. It removes some of the dynamic behaviour from them, but given their tendency to go rogue and do what they want, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and I'm pretty confident that you'll find the AI activity during the campaign in really good shape. And on that subject, I've got into the habit of building some pretty robust fail-safe triggers into all AI behaviour. Should the AI break, there's always a trigger that will fire in the background and mitigate for the potential of that happening, so you should rarely see any mission breaking bugs appear. So final point, I've seen people ask, is the campaign any good? Will it be a dud? Well, ultimately, that's up to you to decide. But all I can say is after 18 months of solid work, I'm immensely proud of the finished product. Initial reactions, the reactions to the Mission 1 demo that's available, and the reaction of my beta testers has been really, really, really positive. And I'm hoping anyone trying the campaign has the same experience. Now, if you like Persian Freedom, I'm pretty sure you'll love Cerberus North. It takes the stuff I learnt during Persian Freedom, the foundation and the ideas, and it's just built on every one of them. This campaign is just better, more polished, and a better experience for the player overall. If you've got any further questions on the campaign, please leave a comment below, or you'll find me on Discord or on the ED forums. Now, thanks for watching, and if you wanted to try Mission 1 or watch a full playthrough of Mission 6, then you'll find the links in the description. Chilling out.